What if I told you a German-born American immigrant risked his chance at citizenship to defend democracy abroad only to come home and be labeled a communist? Only to then join the US Army and fight so bravely against the Japanese in World War II that he not only earned his citizenship but was called one of the best Americans I have ever known by his commanding general. Well, that's the true story of Herman Bottcher. Bottcher immigrated to the US from Germany in 1931. When the Spanish Civil War broke out, he joined a few thousand other Americans in the anti-fascist Abraham Lincoln Brigade and fought against Spanish, Italian, and German forces. When they came home, they were blacklisted, labeled communists. But after Pearl Harbor, Bottcher and many others joined the US military, seeing the fight over there finally make it to their own homeland. Quickly rising to staff sergeant in the Army's 32nd Infantry, Herman would prove himself at the Battle of Buna Gona in Papua New Guinea in December of 1942. After walking 130 miles through a disease-infested swampy jungle and brutal fighting, he led a team of 17 volunteer soldiers to overtake a Japanese stronghold. They treaded through chest-deep water to sneak behind enemy lines, right between two Japanese camps, and completely surprised them. A violent initial attack was successful, and they reinforced a brilliant position with impassable swamp on one side and the sea on the other. There was nowhere for them to escape, but it also forced the enemy to attack them head-on. Bottcher led the team for 6 days of non-stop up-close and personal fighting. One Japanese wave attacked with bayonets, so Herman's men charged right back at them, meeting them in the open and cutting them down. Bottcher was wounded in the left arm, but kept fighting until his right arm was also wounded, so with both arms out of action, he finally received treatment, but the battle was over by then. Their position, referred to as Bottcher's Corner, gave the rest of the Americans the time they needed to overrun the rest of the enemy forces, and the Battle of Buna Gona was won. For his courage and leadership, Bottcher was promoted from staff sergeant to captain, until they realized he wasn't actually a citizen. But they rectified that, and he took his oath of citizenship right there in the middle of combat. His injuries could have bought him a one-way ticket home, but he wanted to keep fighting. In October 1944, he would lead another incredibly dangerous mission at Leyte. After weeks of devastating combat, he was mortally wounded by a mortar attack. Witnesses say he fought till his last breath. He was awarded 2 Distinguished Service Crosses and a collection of Purple Hearts. General Eichelberger said he was one of the best Americans I have ever known. Bottcher was Buna's greatest hero. He's buried at the Veterans Cemetery in Manila, and at Bottcher's Corner, a memorial stands with a plaque that reads, "With 18 men, 1 machine gun, and sheer guts under fire, Staff Sergeant Bottcher held off a Japanese force that flanked him on 2 sides and numbered in the thousands. When the enemy finally grew impatient and attacked, Bottcher mowed them down like wheat in a field." And wow, that's just an incredible story of valor right there. This story was suggested by a viewer, so who should I talk about next? Leave it in the comments.